A reading from the Gospel according to John. And Jesus said to them, "Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be driven out. And I, when I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all people to myself." He said this to indicate the kind of death he was to die. The crowd answered him, "We have heard from the law that the Messiah remains forever. How can you say the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is this Son of Man?" Jesus said to them, "The light is with you for a little longer. Walk while you have the light, so that the darkness may not overtake you. If you walk in the darkness, you do not know where you are going. While you have the light, believe in the light, so that you may become children of light." After Jesus had said this, he departed and hid from them. The word of the Lord. This day, this September 14th, every year is what we call Holy Cross Day. And it's particularly a day to recognize not just Jesus' sacrifice for us, not just our salvation from sin, but particularly the manner of the death he was to die for us, which was to be crucified, hung on a cross. And it's a remarkable juxtaposition, isn't it? I think of, whenever I think of Holy Cross Day and Jesus' death on the cross, I think of the song "Lift High the Cross." Maybe that's a little on the nose for us, but in my last parish, "Lift High the Cross" was it was like our rallying cry and our anthem. We sang it at all of the special holy days, and I hear this song, "Lift high the cross, the love of Christ proclaim, till all the world adore his sacred name. Led on their way by this triumphant sign, the hosts of God in conquering ranks combine." And when you stop and think about it, it's remarkable, this idea that we would take the cross and have that be the image. You see, I have crosses in my office. People wear crosses. On the front of our prayer books is a big cross, and I bet in just about every church everywhere there's a big cross over the altar. Well, this was a sign of Jesus' death and torture, and yet it's been turned and used as a remarkable sign of hope and life and promise and love in our community. That can only happen but through the power of God. And I have to think that it's deliberate to have taken that sign that was meant to be used as a sign of intimidation and fear, torture and violence, and to say the power of God will take this dark sign and use it for good. And if God can take even death on the cross, and use that as a remarkable sign of life, then anything is possible through the power of God's love. And so that's why, in my mind, we carry the cross with us today as a sign of that kind of remarkable, healing, transforming power of God. And when we go out into a world that is sometimes full of fear and darkness, doubt and violence, that we can remember that God has the power, and God behind us gives us the power to go out into the world and be a transforming sign of love in this world. And so, yes, let us indeed lift high the cross of Christ proclaim, till all the world adore his sacred name. Amen.